Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself Suprit, and this is your AEW Rampage review for February 25th, 2022. And I'm joined by Abbymaniac here. So, Abby, what did you think about this Rampage here? I thought it was nothing much. Felt like a boring show, to be honest.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. It was just another show just thrown out there. Uh, I would like to say that the match that I enjoyed was probably the Wardlow match, uh, to be quite honest. Other than that, there was nothing much that was to be, you can say, uh, that was enjoyable, so to say, because comparing AW programming with, obviously you would compare Rampage with uh, Dynamite, or you would like to compare Rampage with the initial episodes. So this episode, absolutely agreed with you. This show did not, uh, you can say, stand up to par. Absolutely not.
And for let me repeat that. What was I saying was you initially in the previous episodes and all said that there is actually nothing to be excited about Rampage. It's just a 1 hour show on a Friday night. Many people say that Friday night is basically an off night for many, in terms of wrestling. Like, wrestling is not actually a prior, like a go to thing to do that night. Many people, especially in the States, they think about, going out because it's, the weekends, right? Going out,
Hmm.
maybe having a couple of drinks, not watch sit at home and watch wrestling. They could prefer watching something on TV on a Saturday night, but that's a topic for another day. It's you could say a passable show at for most weeks, but we'll talk about this week's Rampage here. But before that, if you're new to Wrestling, then make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. Check out our other content links provided in the description below. So this week's Rampage kicked off with a TNT Championship match. This is between Sammy Guevara versus Andrade El Idolo. So I was initially thinking that this is one of those scenarios that they could build this match at the pay-per-view, but it seems like there is something else that they're doing at the pay-per-view. We'll get to that, but here we go. You're getting this match on a Rampage. So, like, these two are great wrestlers and all, but it wasn't that mind-blowing of a match. But overall, it was a good match. Thoughts on this one?
Yes, I would like to echo your thoughts absolutely. It could be one of the reasons that why they have booked the match, the TNT Championship match on television instead of the pay-per-view. It could be that they are, you can say, uh, trying to stay in the, probably they are, you know it could also be, that the card is stacked, so they aren't, messing around with that. But it could be, we can give them the benefit of the doubt that they are uh, giving a, you can say, giving a fuck about the description, the definition of the TNT Championship. That basically it is a TV title, so it should be defended on television. It should not be defended on pay per view. So that is why they are uh, getting it, you know, defended on television, either on Rampage on or Dynamite. So we can give them that, and hopefully they stick to the set definition in the future. That could be uh, the hope for the TNT Championship. And for this match, on paper, like you said, expectations were high because these two incredibly talented wrestlers. The storyline, you know, was not very much into substance, so we were not invested in this as much as we should be in every storyline and stuff like that if we compare it to Dynamite. Here it was just basically that recently Andrade has costed Darby his shot at the TNT Championship, and Andrade was scouting Darby Allin to join forces with him basically, and Darby denied that, and Darby said that he wants to win the TNT Championship, and Andrade said that no, you are not the TNT champion, the next TNT champion. I am the next TNT champion. That was basically the whole premise for this match. So nothing much, and other than that, uh, it was like commentators tried to build this up, hype this up during the match. They said that both the guys, Sammy Guevara, Andrade, were undefeated in 2022. They also said that it is Andrade's first title opportunity in All Elite Wrestling. So they wanted us to care about this match. But you know, nothing much that we could do. There is only so much that you could do to make people care. It could have been, you know, such a great execution, but there was nothing much because it could be, like you said, that it was just a Rampage match. If it were probably on Dynamite, they could have given their A plus game, but they knew that few people are going to watch, few people are going to care. So why would we meaning Andrade and Sammy, we give a plus performance? So it was just another match basically, and there was a spot when Andrade suplexed Guevara on the ramp, but there was nothing much that was visible after the said suplex happened. That there was no selling whatsoever afterwards. So, and there was no precision attack from Andrade on the lower back or something like that afterwards. Nothing, so to speak. And in the end, Guevara got the victory as expected, but they gave some storyline, some intrigue for us to be invested. That there was something to sink our teeth into. That there was something going on with Matt Hardy, getting involved in the action. And probably there is some insecurity, some jealousy that he didn't want Andrade to win the championship. So something is brewing, and something would break up at Revolution in the trios match. So there was something. So hopefully people are invested, people actually care, but there is only so much TV time that you are giving to this program. There is so much of an investment that you are giving to this program. So we are only giving so much uh, that you are investing in this story, basically. Uh, right now, as per what is transpiring here right now, and what happened in the ending moments of the bout, I think that probably there uh, could be a big blow up between the AHFO, basically, and the baby faces would be winning the bout. What you were pointing towards, that Andrade was getting the pin with the help of the ropes, but Matt Hardy just pushed his legs, basically. So you could say that there is a story to that, that probably Matt Hardy does not want Andrade to be the TNT champion. He wants himself to be TNT champion. So that is the story that is underlying in this. So because if you look at that in a logical way as well, in a humanly way as well, it would make perfect sense.
Hmm, let's see. But if you want to make things intriguing, we have to consider everything here. So they're having
Hmm.
a trios match, right, at the pay per view.
Yes.
So very weird pairing if you see the heel lineup. It's Isaiah Cassidy, Andrade, and Matt Hardy. I
Hmm.
don't know why it's just Isaiah Cassidy. I think Mark Quinn could be injured. That's the general theory going on here. I don't know it's official or not, but still an odd pairing. And what are the chances that Isaiah Cassidy is taken out of this equation, and instead we see Jeff Hardy taking that spot?
Hmm. Uh,
Is it the right way to debut Jeff Hardy?
hmm. I don't know. Uh, I would like to say, mm, you know, if you would debut, in the scenario that you are, proposing, Jeff Hardy, it would probably lead to your TNT champion, Darby Allin, and Sting losing, who are probably one of the top baby faces of your company. So I do not think that debuting Jeff Hardy in that fashion would be a good idea. You can, you know, book the breakup of the AHFO in the match, and then in afterwards, or in post, Dynamite, you can have Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy uh, forming a tag team. That basically Matt Hardy severs his ties uh, from this whole faction scenario. He turns babyface, probably, in a way. So let's see how they book this scenario, but it it would be exciting.
At this point, it is pretty much confirmed that he is coming to AEW, and we just
Hmm.
have to wait and see where it happens, what's the place. But as we move along with Rampage here, up next we had QT Marshall, who was not actually booked for this show. He made an impromptu appearance. So he got on the mic and he was complaining about Hook here, and he was doing the complaining on right to Taz's face, who was on commentary by the way. So he said how Hook has been disrespectful, and basically he's taking credit for teaching Hook and training him to be a wrestler, and basically said that Hook has lost his mind. He doesn't give respect to the veterans and all, and basically he's a disrespectful guy, something like that, and also called out Hook to show up if he had some balls, and Hook eventually showed up. Huge reaction like always, and all of a sudden, QT Marshall brought in some of his students from the Nightmare Factory. So they were going one by one and trying to get rid of Hook, but Hook was getting rid of each and every member of the Nightmare Factory over there. So one of the guys, he actually did a slick looking judo throw on the ramp, which had to hurt, and he also got rid of other two guys as well. So there was this fourth guy who QT was ordering to go after Hook, but he decided to fuck it and just bailed out. So there you go. That was the entire segment. I have a feeling that how the way they are building this, they could do this at the pay per view.
Hmm. I was thinking that as well, but you know, let's see if they have, basically the time on the pay-per-view, or they book it in the kickoff show. Let's see. I would like to, you know, assume that they would be booking it on the pay-per-view, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, because the pay per view is super stacked. Like they have booked
Yes.
every match that is imaginable.
Hmm. Yes.
So
And the one spot that is left of the tag team, the trios tag team, that would be, uh, you know, I guess it would be filled by the Young Bucks. It is a no-brainer at this point. So it is stacked.
but we'll see what happens. I think they could give this match about 5 minutes or so if they want to fill in time. But let's see what happens at the pay per view. But moving on, Dan Lambert is back after getting rid of the Rhodes family here in AEW. So he's out there backstage with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, Man of the Year. So he talks about the situation going on in the TNT title picture, talks about the face of the Revolution ladder match, and he gives some. I think he basically tells us that Scorpio Sky will be going through a phase of the Revolution ladder match qualifier, and Sky isn't pleased with this one because he basically said that he won the same match last year, and he talks about how he's undefeated for the last 300 somewhat days, and Ethan Page, tries to calm down Sky in this situation. Said it's because of Dan Lambert that he got a title match here in AEW. So it basically told Sky to chill out, and he'll make sure that he gets a TNT title shot before he could even get into the ladder match and what all. So there's that. Any thoughts on this one? Dan Lambert is back on TV.
Yes. Dan Lambert, basically, it is pretty much evident, and we have discussed it at length that he is amazing on the microphone. So he is an asset on television. So using him for storylines and for the rivalries is a great thing. And you know, he also put a great, uh, you can say, a truth bomb on the face of the Revolution ladder match. That basically the ladder match uh, didn't matter as much, uh, that as it has happened in the past years. So it hasn't, you know, uh, basically, you know, the importance of the said match is basically nil. So he gave a pretty great explanation to that. So he basically was trying to imply that being in the said match should not be a very, you know, uh, big thing on your bucket list, basically. And you know, it seems like you said that Scorpio Sky is, you know, waiting and wanting for a shot at the TNT Championship at this point. And you know, this was just a theory, a brainstorming, you know, thing that came in my mind. That if we look at this scenario, Dan Lambert, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, if we look this as with the lens of uh, the AHFO as well, so we could say that, or who is to say that basically that at some point Ethan Page can grow a conscience and stop Scorpio Sky from winning the TNT championship. It can happen. Who is to say that it cannot happen? And uh, be basically the for Ethan Page that to be on his own, because his affiliation with Scorpio Sky isn't giving any dividends whatsoever. Is it? Basically, if we look it with a very, you know, sharp lens, is it giving any dividend? I don't know. And it also gave a rise to an exciting, you know, scenario with regards to Cody Rhodes. That there was a theory with regards to Cody Rhodes debuting with a faction, and, stuff like that, a heel faction, basically. And uh, in the last promo, which we can remember of Brandy Rhodes, we saw Brandy Rhodes name dropping Josh Alexander. And Josh Alexander right now is in Canada. Uh, as per his social media activity, and it is assumed that Josh Alexander has signed a contract with All Elite Wrestling, and he has left Impact Wrestling. But there is some work visa issue. That is why he is in Canada for the time being, as per his social media activity. So, right now, it can lead to a scenario which can lead to basically a faction which has Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, and Dan Lambert. These five people. debuting at some point.
So you
Thoughts on
imply
that?
Cody Rhodes will show up back on AEW?
Just a theory, because we do not know that what is to happen, what is not to happen. But these points which I just brushed upon, they it seems very coincidental, and they happened you know at a point which was very you know nearby, basically, that it happened at a point that which was very you know it happened one after the other, basically. And Josh Alexander is to debut at some point. And there was a point when Ethan Page was implying that we would be winning the TNT championship in this promo. So it who is to say that this scenario cannot happen? Just saying. On this episode, this was probably my favorite match. And like you said, the story that they were trying to tell and the action in the ring, if you can say, box it all up, it was great stuff, basically. Everything that the story they are trying to tell, and Sean Spears, he played his role to perfection. You hate the fucking bastard, basically. That he is trying to, you know, uh, put down the, lovable baby face. He is trying to, put down the most over move of the guy, that is the power bomb symphony. So, you know, you can understand that he is jealous. You can understand that he is basically a chicken shit bastard, basically. So he is playing his role to perfection. He is, quote unquote, putting over Wardlow as a baby face, and he is, you know, uh, getting the work done. People are getting invested in Wardlow. People are cheering for the guy. So you are seeing that. And with regards to this match, like you said, that it was basically a horse fight, a different match for Wardlow. He has been in matches that is basically where he has a size advantage, basically. But here it was probably, like you said, that he was on the weaker side, that Nick Comorotow was probably a guy who had the size advantage. But nonetheless, they cut short the match a bit when they went to the break, when they go to the understanding that probably Nick Comoroto getting a is getting the shine which is probably not required at this point. The motive of this match was to put over, basically, Wardlow, but yes, giving uh, him a competitive match was a good thing. So absolutely, really enjoyed this match, and now uh, looking forward to the phase of the Revolution ladder match, which has Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks. So looking forward to that. and this match was basically competitive. Yet Wardlow looked like a star coming out of this match, winning this match.
So there you go, man. Up next, though, we had Thunder Rosa. I think I'm jumping ahead. Actually, we had before that, before the contract signing, we had a short little match. So this is Serena Deeb versus Kayla Sparks. This was Serena Deeb's Professor's 5 minute challenge. And one interesting fact about Kayla Sparks, she was the enhancement talent here in this situation.
Yes.
She actually was on this week's SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
She was on a segment featuring Los Lotharios over there. She was in the crowd. They do their kiss cam challenge over there. That's the thing that's going on with Los Lotharios. There's an interesting fact. So
Oh,
about this match, so nothing much. Serena D basically kills Kayla Sparks here in about 2.5 minutes. Locks in the Serenity lock, and there you go. Finishes off Kayla Sparks in impressive fashion. And yeah, man, nothing much. I think they are given something for Serena Deeb to do a weekly thing until she eventually gets into a title picture, whether be the TBS or the World Women's.
hmm, hmm. Possibly, possibly. Or we see her, fighting, someone in an intriguing, sort of scenario. So let's see. Right now, we are of the assumption that her opponent is, I guess, she is in Japan right now, or she is injured. There is something going on with her. So, or they, because I assume that the angle is still not over, if I'm not wrong.
Or eventually leads to
What?
someone actually, measuring up to Serena Deeb. Maybe outlasting her in this 5 minute challenge. Who knows? I don't know what they are trying to
Hmm.
achieve with this one.
No, right now, basically, what they are basically trying to achieve with the 5 minute challenge is basically to add to the character, to add to the ego, to basically make her the most hated woman on the roster, or one of the most hated women on the roster, or make her an interesting character, so to speak, in the heel side. So so that you have someone that if you are to put over a baby face, or you are to uh, get a babyface champion to in the women's division, to extend her title run, or to extend her basically her legacy, so to speak. So you can you know, use Serena Deeb in a lengthy storyline. You right now are investing in Serena Deeb with respect to a character's perspective, so that if you indulge Serena Deeb with someone, some or the other character, you can stretch out the said angle for months. Basically, she is just not another wrestler on the show, which you got to book with a notice of 1 week. No, you can use her with the set of characteristics, with the set of stuff you have, you know, showed on television. You can use her and you can use her for a lengthy program, basically. So good stuff as of right now, but yes, looking forward to uh, a substantial storyline. Let's see who steps up to the plate, basically.
A contract signing, by the way, between Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for their Women's Championship match at Revolution. So this was a quick one. Thunder Rosa quickly signs a contract and says that it's time for a champion who doesn't cheat. And Baker actually goes on a rant about what she has done since their lights out match, and basically puts over the lights out match, saying that it was history making. And the thing is that Rosa is actually jealous of Britt Baker here about her success and all, and eventually signs the contract. But Rosa makes a huge jump and attacks Baker here. So for a moment, we had a 3-on-1 beatdown as we had Jamie Hater and Reba actually beating up Rosa, but Mercedes Martinez actually came for the save. She gets rid of Reba, then she puts her focus on Jamie Hater. So Jamie Hater was put through the table which was in the ring, and there you go. The babyface is stood tall as the heel escape. So yeah, that was that. Nothing
Hmm.
that was that hit home. It was just a segment.
Hmm. Agreed, agreed. It was what it was. Uh, Only thing that I could probably, conclude from probably this segment was that Britt Baker was, you can say that she was trying to, be good, and she was in a way, you know, she was still, passable with her material that she spewed out, and she tried to make it entertaining with regards to the time that they were given, or the time that you know made it to air, basically. Because there was at one point some audience members who were trying to heckle Thunder Rosa, that was also visible. But nonetheless, at this point, at this level, if you aren't able to take the heat, so you should go home, I suppose. But Brett tried to, you know, make it a quote unquote contract signing segment. Basically, she tried to make it entertaining, like CM Punk has done it numerous times in AEW, also in WWE, with the likes of CM Punk, with the likes of Triple H and many other people. Uh, and probably I could say that it was well timed, this segment, because if we are to, believe that Thunder Rosa is not one of those people who are quote unquote gifted on the microphone, that they can cut you know entertaining long uh, long as promos, basically, to get the crowd invested in your storyline, in your feud, basically. I'm trying to not be very judgmental, but still, what we have seen, of Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is trying to be a fighter's fighter, basically, not being very much of the mic, being more of the, you know of the hands, basically. But it is pretty much documented in the history of professional wrestling that what differentiates from superstars from the wrestlers is the mic work. So, that is what differentiates you. That is what makes you. That is what makes you a superstar. So, uh, nonetheless. And you concluded it perfectly that it was just there. But, you know, it is your World Women's Championship match, and the build to that has been pretty much pathetic. You have probably 1 or 2 week, so make us care. So, other than that, it was what it was.
I have to say that Thunder Rosa is really good on the mic. She brings some intensity and she can talk.
Hmm. We have seen it here and there. What, we have to see that, probably whenever she is given an opportunity, and many a times the intensity or the words or the impact probably sometimes get lost in translation when sometimes she uses you know her mother tongue. Then sometimes, I'm not saying that it happens every fucking time, but sometimes it loses the you know impact, or the thing that is wanted. That probably the thing that is wanted is basically people getting invested in the rivalry, in the basically in the blood feud. It sometimes gets lost. Sometimes, I'm not saying it happens every time, but sometimes it does. So you got to make it a priority that you, you know spew out stuff, and you uh, talk to the crowd in such a way which translates to everybody. So that is only my opinion. If you see Thunder Rosa in a very bright light, good for you. But I saw her in a very bright light when she was in NWA, but and even in her initial days in AEW. But right now, her star power has gone down a bit on AW television. If there are people, and of course there are people who are, you know, following her each and every move on the independent circuit, and what she's doing with her home promotion, and what she's been doing with David Lecreca and everything. So people are invested in her. Agreed. But I am only talking about with respect to AW television. There aren't so many people who can watch so much wrestling, and they have access to so much wrestling. I'm only talking about AW television. Her star power has gone down a bit. That's all. That's just my opinion, obviously.
But as we get to the main event, we had Anthony Bowens facing Orange Cassidy. So this was a qualifier to for the face of the Revolution ladder match, of course. So they did the thing with Mark Henry, the face to face, little comedy here and there, where basically Cassidy didn't know whether this was a ladder match, and then Wheeler Utah had to come in to clarify, saying that it is just a qualifying match, and then there is a ladder match at the pay-per-view, something like that. So we get to the match. Max Caster does his usual rap here and sets a line where, or he said a line where he basically said that Orange Cassidy has no black friends. There you go. And the typical Max Caster rap man. And the one thing I like about his rap is that he actually, almost crosses the line of getting cancelled, and
Hmm.
and he actually knows that, and that's what makes these raps, fun for the most parts. But the match was
Yes.
fine. Like Anthony Bowens has been, they have featured Anthony Bowens as a guy who can, give you some really good match and put someone over. And basically, he's a key player in this type of situation. So the match begins with some comedy here because once Max Caster was done with the rap, he actually challenged Orange Cassidy to, hit some words here. So Cassidy got the mic and he does the thing where just mimicking Caster here, saying "yo," and he puts his hands in the pockets and starts kicking Max Caster's shin, and the crowd does the oh, reacting to the kicks. Then Max Caster was taken out of the equation thanks to Wheeler Utah, and he gets rid of Anthony Bowens, who gets to the outside. So Cassidy had one line, and that was "Word to your mother." Then, then the match, starts, getting off, and for a while, Anthony Bowens was working on Orange Cassidy, and there was this one spot where he had him in the corner, and Bones was just healing up and said that everyone loves the acclaimed, and they do the thing, the acclaimed, that they cross their fingers and all. So Cassidy initially does
Yes.
that and
Finger.
gives the thumbs up, and eventually Cassidy makes a huge comeback. And by the way, Wheeler Utah was taken out by Max Caster with a steel chain. He was carried out to the back, so there was no one to help Cassidy initially. So as we get to the final moments, Castor was looking to get rid of Cassidy outside with the steel chain, but there was someone who was dressed as one of the crew members, and it was revealed to be that Danhausen, who basically curses Caster here. So Cassidy gets rid of Caster with a orange punch back in the ring. Same thing with Bowens here. Another orange punch. There you go. Orange Cassidy wins. He's qualified for the face of the Revolution ladder match, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yes. No, this was, in my opinion, basically a fun little match there, an entertaining bout. I liked the stuff that happened, in the pre-match interview. Basically, I guess Max Caster also called Orange Cassidy Ellen DeGeneres. That was pretty fucking funny. And other than that, you know, loved the shenanigans at the onset from both the group of people, basically. And Cassidy got the quote unquote shine at the start, but you know Anthony Bowens quickly took the control. And you know there was at one point that Bowens targeted the neck throughout the commercial break, and Cassidy sold his neck, you know, somewhat throughout the match. I could say that he's getting better in the set department, and you know, seeing Danhausen is always a treat. So Danhausen cursing the acclaimed and Cassidy getting the victory was pretty much amazing as well. You know, it was a fun little match. You know, there can be a perception or a mindset as to why this match had a comedic ending and blah blah blah. But you know, you can only bitch and moan or complain for a you know for a certain while basically. But if you understand the stakeholders involved in the match, and you knew that the focus of this match was basically to put Cassidy over, and Cassidy winning the match, and Cassidy performing at the pay-per-view. So you know how they execute the match, that is to do all those people who are involved. So, and you have expected in the past that how the match is going to get executed. So how it got executed, it was what it was. Uh, Either you can bitch and moan and complain, or you can take it how it was. Basically, I was, you know, in my opinion, it was an entertaining match. Uh, that's all.
And that was Rampage for this week. And before we leave, Abby, there was one topic I wanted your, little take on, little short take. Uh, this upcoming Wednesday on Dynamite, Tony Khan has teased a big announcement, which is he's saying is equivalent of the first dance with CM Punk, coming back to wrestling, signing with AEW.
Mm.
So, any theory on that one? What could be the case over there?
Uh, no, I have not been very much into the, you know, in about to basically happen. There is an eventual, Jeff Hardy debut. There is now, it is to be believed that Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli probably can debut at some point. So, if you are of the opinion that you want to see Kings of Wrestling, that is Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli competing in the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, uh, who is to say? But right now it doesn't seem like that. But let's see. Kings of Wrestling were one of the uh, top tag teams in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, but he has
Uh,
promised that this is.
yes.
It is like basically this announcement is not a talent. It could be anything. A talent, a new
Mm,
announcement regarding their maybe a streaming deal, maybe a big show
mm,
in down the line.
mm,
Who knows?
mm, mm. Yes. It could be anything like you were saying. So let's see. Looking forward to it. That it is it a announcement of a big, super show in London that you were also alluding to, that he is probably uh, wanting to book a show at his, I guess, at his stadium. I don't remember the stadium's name. Then it is in the UK, I believe, a super show in the UK. So. It could very well be. Uh, you know. So let's see. Let's see. Looking forward to the announcement.
And this announcement could be anything, man. Who knows? We could see Vince McMahon walking down the ramp on Dynamite. Well, imagine that. It could be anything, and actually excited for that, the way he's hyping it up. But on that note, Abby, where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at Abbymaniac, and you can also connect with me on LinkedIn and Facebook as well.
And you can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamHubW, Instagram at SlamHub Wrestling. You can catch this review on Anchor and Spotify as well. This was the AEW Rampage review, and I'll see you guys next time.